Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and in this video I want to cover Omega. So, apparently, Omega from the Bad Batch. So apparently, Omega is supposed to be an unaltered clone of Jango Fett, but by the time that we meet Jango Fett in Attack of the Clones, he's a dude. So, assuming this is true, does that mean that Jango Fett was transgender? If Omega's supposed to be an unaltered clone, does that make Boba a somewhat altered clone? Or does that make the clone troopers altered clones as well? It's either Omega is an altered clone, and Boba and the other clones are unaltered. Well, Boba being the only real unaltered clone out of all the clones. The clone troopers, the only altered part to them is their aging process, which is sped up. But or is it Boba and the clones being the altered clones in terms of their gender, per se? Because I'm pretty sure in the comic books they already established that Jango Fett was a kid, or was a boy, a kid. When he was a child, he was a boy. So that essentially implies that Omega is somewhat altered. Hell, she could even be combined with someone else's DNA. But I was talking to some of my friends, and they were saying that they heard that that Omega was an unaltered clone. If that was the case, then the clone troopers are having more altered than we have thought. Boba Fett has ultimately been altered as well. Sure, Boba might have normal aging process, but if it was truly unaltered, then why wasn't Boba a she? Unless if the Kaminoans are so advanced where Boba, since maybe Jango was transgender, maybe they just decided not to alter. Maybe the gene process was considered as unaltered for Boba. But if that's the case for Boba, then that still will say that Omega is altered. If you guys are following my logic, I'm just trying to make sense of this. And the reason why I'm making this video is, what do you guys think about Omega? Because I feel like if Disney claims that Omega is unaltered, they'll be talking from their ass. They'll seriously be talking from their ass. I don't believe Omega is exactly unaltered. I mean, it's unaltered. If anything that makes her quote unquote special to be on the Bad Batch, I think it would be her she has little bit of skill from all the clone troopers, from the she gets what makes the clone troopers on the Bad Batch so special. I think that's what it could be. She may have all of their attributes, but we see in the show that she's not exactly a Mary Sue because she gets trained. Or she could be I'm in favor of her being a Force user. Her maybe be a partial clone to Palpatine, or to Anakin. She could be, if they don't kill her off at the end of this Bad Batch series, she could be the Skywalker that continues the Skywalker saga. Because Rey ain't a Skywalker technically. She's a Palpatine. She's a claims to be a Skywalker, but she ain't a true Skywalker. She's a Palpatine. That could be a Jedi, but Rey's not a Skywalker. But, yeah, I do not think that Omega is a clone. Like an unaltered clone. And if they make her an unaltered clone, Disney will contradict themselves again. Because they already have comic books showing that Jango Fett was a boy when he was a kid, a male when he was a kid, not a female transitioning into a male. And if they do this would not, like I said before, this would not be the first time that Lucasfilm contradicted themselves. Because the sequel trilogy in general has the sequel trilogy, even though I admit there are elements, like certain points in the sequel trilogy that I do like for example, when Rey touches the Skywalker lightsaber and get that crazy fast back thingamajig Force vision in The Force Awakens. When we see Luke Skywalker racing the X-Wing, and when we saw Lando Calrissian in Rise of Skywalker finally, or Rise of Palpatine, I like to call it. What else did I like about the Secret Trilogy? I'm trying to think of one thing I liked about The Last Jedi. The first lesson of the 3 lessons that Luke said that he would give to Rey, I like the first lesson. Where he actually introduced Rey about what is the Force. I like that. Those parts, and a few other parts, I liked about the sequels. But for the most part, the sequels were a hot mess. They contradicted themselves constantly, practically. And it's like, The Last Jedi was saying, I know some things been set up in the last movie, but we're going to ignore that and retcon that a bit. And then Rise of Palpatine, as I like to call Episode 9. I like going retcon some of the retcons The Last Jedi made, while still trying to tell a story. So that was my example of if they say that Omega is an unaltered clone, that they'll contradict themselves. Again, because comic books already claim that Jango Fett was a male as a kid. So, that's just me. I personally don't think Omega is an unaltered clone. And if they go that route, that will contradict the current lore, and that would be stupid. And especially more stupid than it would have been if they set it up where Jango was a girl transitioning. Because I would accept, even though the Jango I came to know has always been a male, and I'm referencing the legends. If Disney set it up in their own canon that Jango was first a female, transitioned to a male at some point of his life, I would accept Omega being an altered clone more. But then that will also give us a plot hole. Because in Attack of the Clones, one of the Kaminoans told Obi-Wan that Jango wanted an altered clone for himself, being Boba. It was very clear that they were mentioning Boba. So if they even went that way, there'd still be that one plot hole. So I am hoping that Disney will not do this. I'm really hoping that Disney won't do this because they have established some dumb things in Star Wars. And I love Star Wars. This will be one of the dumb things if they do pull this. So that's just me. What do you guys think? Do you think that Omega is an unaltered clone? Do you think that she is a Force user? Do you think that she was partially cloned by a Force user and Jango Fett combined? Or what do you think that makes Omega special? Let me know in the comment section down below. As always, it was a pleasure talking to you guys to express my thoughts. I'm excited to see what you guys will say. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. And I'll catch you guys later. May the Force be with us all.